Welcome everyone, this is Simeon, and I'm going to show you the highlights of update 3 for Vray for Unreal. To start off, I've prepared the scene from Evermotion, Arc Interiors 40, and with it I'm going to demonstrate the functionality of a Mac script that we provide. The purpose of the script is to optimize materials right in 3ds Max prior to export, so that they can be simpler, easier to import, and most of all, faster to render for real time. As you can see, there are lots of composite maps, blend materials, and so on. So to demonstrate the functionality of the script, I'm just going to first start with installation. Just drag and drop the Max zip file, and then go to Customize. In the toolbars, find the Vray section, and down there it will be Vray Material Optimizer. I'm going to run the script. It has a few options. First, note the version, it's 0.3. Then we have a few modes there. The first one would be a combined mode for both unwrap and optimize, and the other ones are split. You can skip high poly count objects. You can use only the selection or make a hold copy of the scene, so I'm going to do that. You can set the largest and smallest resolution. You can check out the log file. So I'm going to leave all of the default and start the process, and then observe the result from the Mac script in the listener window. First, the geometry is going to be analyzed for a preferred light map size, which will be 16 to 4K in this case. And then an unwrapping is going to take place. In this case, it took 45 seconds, and the whole process, together with optimization, 81. And then automatically a render process is going to start. Depending on the type of the texture and materials, the material optimization can bake in 2D or 3D. We saw an example of a 3D baking, but the different materials are going to be optimized in different logic. Now the process has finished. It took about an hour. And if we take a look at the new materials, first see that there is a unwrap modifier that the script created. And then if we take a look at some of the optimized materials, you can see that there is just a simple single texture for the reflection and the reflection glossiness slot. The colors in the viewport represent the size of the light map from 16 to 4K in this case, to indicate the complexity of the material as well. Let's save. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is compare that with the original rendering result. So let's just go ahead and switch to progressive mode. Make sure we have some noise threshold, and I'm going to lower the resolution for faster rendering and hit the render button. Let's fast forward to the finished frame. So let's compare the original and the optimized. So left would be the original one. As you can see, there is a little bit of a difference. This is from the GGX model that the script switches to. But if we take a look at the render elements, the difference is in the reflection because of the microfacet GGX model. The script switches everything to this model because this is the one that is supported in Unreal. So closer matching quality will be better if using the GGX model. Okay, let's compare some of the other render elements. So the specular is also a little bit different, but the overall parity between the two renders is pretty high. Let's export the scene as a Vray scene, name it optimized. Export that. And go into Unreal. Now I'm going to import everything as default. And once this is done, we get a details window about what has been done. We have a re-import function, and we can select different nodes. Let's have a look at the materials. As you can see, they have imported properly. So here are all the meshes, the materials. So now it's time to set up the proper light map resolution. To do that, going to the light map density. As you can see, it's pretty low, so let's increase that. Override this a little bit to somewhat higher, okay, like this. So I'm going to do that for the majority of the objects and going to fast forward. And now I'm going to send this to bake on the Vray cloud. This is actually the new addition in Vray for Unreal Update 3. Adjust the settings. Be mindful here that higher quality is going to render 3 to 4 times slower, maybe even more. And the size of the atlas is also going to dictate how quick the job is going to finish. But since it takes more machines, it's going to take up more credits. Now, once the job is submitted to Chaos Cloud, this window is going to appear. You can see the timestamp and different bake jobs that you've done. And the scene is going to be uploaded. You can refresh that to check different status. If I open up my profile here, you can see that the scenes are being uploaded. And once the upload is finished, the scenes are going to start rendering and you'll be able to see in progress. At the same time, in the Cloud Control panel, you'll be able to see all the queued jobs and the rendering status, and you can track the progress of each atlas. Once everything is done, you'll see completed, and you can show the lightmap EXRs, you can view them in the cloud, or you can just import them, which I'm going to do. And all the light maps are going to be imported and loaded in Unreal Engine. After the engine encodes all the light maps and applies them in the viewport, we'll check out the quality of the bake itself and make necessary adjustments if needed. I'm going to remove this shadow preview indicator first, and then switch to lighting mode, and to see that there are some artifacts here, over here, and in the column on the ceiling. This is due to a lower resolution, so I'm going to increase the light map resolution of these objects here. So let's increase that to, let's say, 250, or maybe even more, 3K. And the resolution of the walls as well. Do the same for the ceiling. Yeah, 3K, maybe even more. Maybe 4K. Yep. And adjust that for a few other objects here as well. All right. Increase that here as well. Okay, so now that everything has pretty high resolution, I'm going to adjust the atlas size to 4K and bake in the cloud again. Now this new bake is going to include only objects whose light map resolutions we changed. And now that we increased the light map resolution density pretty high, let's have a look at the lighting only. As you can see, the quality is much better. Switch just to lighting only. And the shadows are nice and noise free, and everything looks as we expect it to be. Let's switch to lit mode and look around the scene. To check out how the scene looked like from the original camera, I'm going to switch to that and adjust the highlight burn, because it's pretty low now and it washes away the colors. So adjust it to be a bit higher than the original value and compare that with the Unreal viewport. All right, a bit more contrasty, a bit more punchy. Another thing that I might want to do is turn on the ray traced reflections here, so that I improve the reflections without having to place manually reflection probes. So that was a short overview of the cloud baking workflow, combined with the Max script that we supply for 3ds Max to optimize your materials. To learn more about the new features in Vray for Unreal Update 3, as well as how to make the most out of cloud baking, visit the official documentation of Vray for Unreal and our forums as well. Thank you for watching, and take care.